Hey y'all, we are about to finally start our geode, and there are some things you need to prep before you get down to laying colors. The first thing is, as you can see, I used a pencil and kind of sketched in roughly where I want my geodes to go. Now I have mixed some resin, it's sitting there, and I am laying out some Epsom salt, which is great for geodes, and I'm using some crushed glass before I put these like ice cube crystals in place. But so I'm kind of laying it down where I want it to go. I'm gonna sprinkle some glitter, silver, and this like iridescent white to give it a little pop and sparkle along there. And I'm gonna add this when I finish the top layer too, but you'll see that part. So for now, call this the prep stage. So I've laid down and I just used a long popsicle stick, wooden spoon, whatever you want to call it, craft stick, and I've just laid it, roughly in. I just spoon it out of the cup, and I'll show you recording one-handed. Get some on the stick, and I'm just going to place it where I want it. Okay, once I get it placed where I want it, let's just sprinkle a little glitter. Not much. I don't want the glitter to take over. I want the glitter just to accent and add a little more pop to it. Okay, so just add a little glitter, and then I'm gonna take my stick with my resin, and I'm just drizzling over this, kind of just like a base layer to hold everything in place. So that's what I'm gonna do to prep my board. I'm gonna do it for this area, and I'm gonna add a few layers of my crushed glass and my Epsom salt, and then you can hot glue these in place where you want them to be, or you can just use your resin to hold it in place where you want it. But this is the prep stage. I'll see you once this is dry and done to add our colors. We're doing an amethyst, so we're going to be using different shades of purple. This is purple paste. We have purple tint, and remember what I said, our tints are transparent. They will never go opaque, to add some depth to our piece, but we'll go over that when we start adding color. So let me get back to prepping this. I'll see you shortly so we can add our purples. So this is prepped now. We will let this dry for a couple hours and come back and start building our layers of color and depth. See y'all. Hey y'all. Here's Kat from Kat Southern Charms, and we're back. I showed you earlier how I laid out my board with my crystals and get my handy dandy baby wipes. So I have it all ready. I showed you earlier how I drew out a little pattern, how I kind of wanted to lay out my crystals. I used the crushed glass, and I used the Epsom salt that's hiding somewhere. There it is. Epsom salt with some like ice cube little crystals that I got off Amazon. No biggie. I've mixed up my resin. Here's the high school dance you hear me talk about often. This is the gym full of raging hormone teenagers. We got to empty it out. We got to better chaperone all these kids. So we're taking 20. You're going to cafeteria. Right. We're gonna separate out some more youngins. Some of these I'm not gonna put a lot in because I have different colors and I'll show you in a minute. I want to get these separated out though. Alright. And then let's see. White tint and my. Alright, I'm going to set this to the side. There's a little left over in case I need it for something. But let's talk about our colors. So the kids are separated out. 20 to a room. Easier to chaperone them if they're in smaller containers rather than a big one, right? This is what causes a flash cure. If you don't get it out of this big cup, it's going to start heating up. It's going to cure very quickly, start smoking. It's going to be ugly. So never leave a room or a gym full of teenagers alone. Separate them out so you can better chaperone them to make sure they're not getting too hot too fast. That's my tip for you today. All right, now let's talk about our colors. I told you we're going to do an Amethyst Geode today. So I have my Let's Resin. I'm going to use their purple paste. I'm going to use their white paste. And when you use paste, it doesn't take hardly anything at all. It works very fast, melts into your resin. You don't have to worry about lumps from mica. You don't have to worry about mica moves in a painting or in your molds, whatever project you're doing. Mica moves. Your paste will give you a more solid color, and they don't move like a mica reacts and wants to get in everybody's business. We don't want that in here. So I'm going to use a purple paste, a white paste. I am going to use a tint, which is a transparent, because I want to add some depth to our piece. Transparent with a solid will give you different layers and textures. So that's why I'm going to use the, and it's actually Amethyst. And I'll keep it in a bag because it's messy. Now I do have a little bit of mica that I'm going to use, and it's a sparkly mica, kind of like a highlight. And then at the end, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this and this. And this is a way to level up your geodes. You're going to be amazed when we get to that point. Ah, and that's why I have some resin set aside. Silly me, I knew there was a reason. All right, so let's start mixing our colors, then we can start pouring. Let's start with white. And you know what? All right, add a little bit in there. Set that to the side. Oh, and I also have a metallic silver that I'm gonna add highlights around my geodes and to use for veining. Along with that, after it's all cured, I'm gonna use chrome markers to go in and draw in some more veining with a silver chrome pen. So we'll show you all that when we get to that stage, but that's a little ways down the road. Let me, do I have more small cups? I guess not. All right, I want to put, oh wow, really? Let me cut this. I didn't know it was not opened. You can still hear me, but give me 1 minute to open this paste. Alright. Also grab some more cups. Very well. We're going to open this paste. I did not know. I thought I had opened them all. Apparently not. Much better. There's our purple. Put this away to the side with our white. Did I just do that, y'all? I sure did. Purple and white together. Look at that. All right. Y'all, look how quickly that mixed. Isn't that pretty? I can't believe that I mixed this, the same one with my white. That's all right. I do want this a little darker, so I'm gonna add a little more purple. Okay, that is good. And, there we go. That's better. Ooh, look at that purple. That's pretty, huh? All right, so let me wipe my mixing stick off. And let's try this again. Purple up there, out of my way. I did grab some extra cups. So I'm gonna pour a little there. Gonna add a little more there. And, all right, let's do, we're gonna do white again. And then I'm gonna do like an off-white, because I want two different layers of white. I want an opaque white and I want a transparent. Like, y'all hear me say it all the time, 2% milk, right? As a consistency, because it's still, it's transparent. Okay, so this is the tint. I got this from Artist Till Death, and I want to add this. Oh wow, is nothing gonna work today? Really? Okay, let's see. There we go. Lord have mercy. Y'all, it's Friday, but it sure seems like a Monday, doesn't it? All right. Put this back in the bag. I told you, it was messy. Ooh. Let me clean off my gloves. And I'll always keep baby wipes handy for that reason, y'all. So I can kind of keep my gloves clean. All right, so let's stir our tint and see what I mean. It stays transparent. It is not opaque. You can still see through this. And that's what I want. All right, give it a good stir. I wanted to have these mixed up before I started the video, but then I was like, no, I want them to see. All right, that could really use a little. In fact, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to take a little of my opaque, this is a trick, and I'm going to add it to my transparent to give it a little more contrast. All right, that's good enough. So I want it to be a little darker, but see there, and you can still see through it. Perfect. All right, let's clear this off. Then we'll go, my huskies are outside, can you tell? All right, let's go back to white again. All right, white and white. And then I have my, and you gotta be careful when you use white, because white really can take over your piece very quickly. So what I'm doing is I'm mixing my white. This will be my opaque white that you can't see through. You saw me put some paste in there, and it's already getting where you can't see the stick very well, and that's what I want. I want this to be opaque, a little see-through. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little of this, I'm gonna put it in my clear, and it's gonna give me my translucent white. That's a trick. So mix your opaque white first, dip. See that? It's like milky. There you go. And y'all know what I'm fixing to add to it, don't you? Can you guess? Can you guess? I'm going to add my Marabou Rainbow because I want some sparkle in this, y'all. Y'all know how I feel about this stuff. If I could take a bath in it, I would. Gorgeous. All right. So I have my white. You see the sparkle in there? Beautiful. All right, so now I'm gonna add my mica, and that is our last color. With this mica though, I'm gonna add a little bit of interference powder. I just decided that. That's a great thing about this. You can just decide out of the blue. You wanna add something? Okay, add it. I'm not adding a lot of mica. It doesn't take a lot. And this is another sparkly mica to add to my piece because y'all know I like my sparkles. So this is a violet interference, and I'm just gonna add a little bit. You see the purple, so I'm gonna add that. Set that spoon to the side. Then we're gonna mix this, and then we can start pouring. And you can pour however you want. Whatever your mind sees, pour it. It's fine. All right. Mix this white, beautiful white. Okay. Look at that, y'all. Isn't that shimmery and beautiful? That's what I want. Now I know this is gonna dance. This is gonna want to combine and mix with the color next to it. Let me get that hellion in before I start pouring, because he won't stop jumping until he comes inside. Can y'all just let mommy pour her project? Come on. No, you didn't even let me pour. Thank you. Thank you so much. Do y'all have dogs? Do they do that to you? I don't have kids. My kids are grown. But let me tell you, these huskies sure make up for not having little kids in the house. All right. So that shimmer's done. Now I'm going to set my cups off to the side. And I want to start with my darkest color here. Here, that's empty, white, and milky. All right, so let me get this out of the way. When you're pouring on a canvas, resin self-levels. So I'm just gonna start pouring and then we can continue to talk. Resin will self-level. So what I mean by that is when you pour this out, it's gonna keep spreading, right? That's what resin does. And I'm gonna pour this out here. And I'm gonna pour out to this corner. All right, it's all of our dark purple. Now, you can take your stick, you can use your gloved hand, and all I'm gonna do is just marry these up. So there's no empty space between them. And I'm gonna let it spread on its own. And I'm gonna give it a minute to spread. This, I'm gonna bring down to the end so it will flow over the side with no problems. So there's that. And before I started, I did make sure that I am level. I keep this handy for that reason, because if you don't, your resin's gonna tilt to one side, this side's gonna be heavy, this is gonna be thin. You've gotta make sure that it's level. So that is pro tip number one. Make sure that your surface is level. All right, let me wipe my handy dandy stick off. Then I want to go with, let me go with a little bit. I need to move this out of the way. A little bit, oop, messed that up. A little bit of shimmer. And I take it off the board. And I'm gonna let that sit, and I'm gonna come pour this side. Alright. Then I wanna go with my opaque, like see-through purple. This way. All right. Now I'm gonna let that be, and I'm gonna go in with some white. I'm going to start over here. Like that. And then I want some more purple out here by my, pour on this side. And this is really, there's no right way. Get that purple up top there. I don't want that there. There's no right way to pour this. Whatever you see in your mind, that's what you pour. If you want more white, like I know I need a little more of my white mica here. So I'm gonna take my stick, and again, I'm just gonna push it gently to marry up. I'm not pushing it in. I just wanna close these little gaps. So I gently push it so it marries. Hello, hi, nice to meet you. Just introducing them to each other, right? That's all we're doing. Just a little introduction, that's it. Here, a little introduction to close that spot up like that. I'll add some more down there. And I'm gonna move it over the edge so it will flow down. Okay, so that's good. And now I'm wiping my stick, and I'm gonna push this white up there. That's good. I'm gonna push this white here. I'm gonna bring this down. So you get the gist of it. You see what I'm doing? I'm just butting it up against the other one because I really don't want to mix it. Okay? So then I'm going to, well, first I see something I don't like. I really want to get that out of there. Okay, and then I'm gonna take my purple and I'm gonna cover that spot up. See how easy it was to fix that? Easy breezy. Beautiful. This I'm gonna pour more there. Now I can kind of smooth it out to make a pattern that I want. All right, that's good. Another thing when you're doing these, if you're working on a canvas, do not overheat your project, because if you use a torch a lot, if you use a lighter a lot, it thins the resin out. You want to give resin time to settle on its own, right? I'm gonna add some more white through here. All right, let that run off. I'm just gonna bring it down here, bring it over there, because I want it there so it's going off on its own. Now you see between these lines, this is where I'm going to use my secret little trick, but I have to do that after it's set up some. I can't do that right now. And I'm going to pour some more. I'm going to put some of this here, and then I'm going to put purple again. And I'm pushing that white out. See what I did there? I don't mind if that marries with the purple, because it'll give me that little glisten that I want. But there. And I can go back in and still and to show you a beautiful secret. See how this is different? The solid white and the milky white. How it gives it a little extra layer of depth. A depth of different layers and textures and colors. Now, you can tilt. I'm going to pick it up, I'm going to tilt one way, and I'm going to tilt it back. Tilting like this gives it a more natural geode look. Okay? So there is that. I'm going to let this sit. Where's my purple? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the rest of this purple in with my there. Perfect. All I did was take the rest of the purple and add it with my shimmery to make a different layer. And I'm just going to pour it to add a different purple there. Maybe we'll add some through here, all the white. All right. So that's all we're going to do right now. Again, I'm going to tilt. I am going to take my heat gun and I'm going to turn it on low. I don't want it. And I'm just going to run it across, smooth out some of those pore lines that I want to look more natural. Just gonna run it in circles up and down to kind of bust that up. Now, like I said, when I'm doing this, I'm thinning the resin. So I have to be careful not to do that too much. It's also gonna pop any bubbles. You see them popping. All right. That's all we're gonna do right now. We're gonna let this sit. And when we come back, I'm gonna take some 99% isopropyl alcohol I'm gonna add a little bit of the silver metallic, and I'm gonna highlight the outsides of my my crystal areas. So it's gonna be a silver highlight there. I'm also gonna add some veining in amongst all of this. So we're gonna let this set up for, probably gonna let it set 3 hours. And then, you know what? No, I'm gonna let it sit overnight. I wanna make sure that it's good. Then I'm gonna add the metallic, and we will add our glitter vein lines that are really gonna bring this all to life. I hope you like it so far. I think it's very pretty. Amethyst is my birthstone. Tell me in the comments, what is your birthstone? Do you like this? Do you prefer it more solid lines, not separated, not combining? What are your thoughts on that? Leave me a comment below. Tell me what you think. It'll be no time for you, but I'll be back tomorrow to add all the wow to bring this piece to life. So until then, happy arting. Ta-ta for now.